Good evening, this is Warspite the Wargamer, back from a busy week trailing around the high street stores looking for useful items which could suit wargamers, modelers and in this case even video filming. So first item up today is the very cheap dice to be found from a well-known high street store. £1 for 10 dice. The second item to come up is a very cheap, dirt cheap photographic or filming turntable. If you want to turn your models around under a hot light and show them off to your best advantage on video, you need a turntable. I found a cheap turntable for just £4. So have a look at what I've got to show you tonight. If you like what you see, please give us a thumbs up. If you really like what you see, please become a subscriber. So, Warspite, and on with the show. One thing that unites nearly every wargamer in Britain, the rest of the world, is our reliance on dice, or dies if you choose the singular. And here we have a selection. We've got some large ones, big wood ones. We've got some small D6s, conventionally numbered 1 to 6. Got percentage dice over here, duodecahedrons, each numbered 1 to 10 twice. Roll them together, you get 100, 1 in 100. And over here, conventional dice, and over here we have average dice, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. There are speciality dice used by some rules which give the same average, 3.5, but with a shorter range of numbers, no 1, no 6. So we all need dice. There's a selection of some of mine. Now if you go to a wargame show, you can pick up dice quite cheap. There are whole stands selling nothing but dice. But as you probably know, I like to hang around the high street and see if I can find cheaper alternatives. And believe it or not, they do turn up. I've been singing the praises occasionally of The Works, which is a high street stationer's art shop, toy shop, etc. Popped in there the other week and they are selling these little puppies for £1. Yes, £1. You get 10 dice. That's 10 D6s. So if you fork out a fiver, £5, you'll get 50 dice, 10 in a sort of pinky cerise, 10 in blue, 10 in red, 10 in green, and 10 in a sort of amber colour. So 50 dice for a fiver, or 10 for £1. You can't really say better than that. That is a very good deal. So this is the high street shop known as The Works, and they are selling at the moment very cheap dice. They're available in 2 types of packaging. Each dice is approximately ½ an inch. Here they are out of the packaging. As predicted, 2 yellow, 2 pink, 2 green, 2 red, 2 blue. They come in a variety of packaging, some are on a card, some are in a little box. I will cut away in a second to a photograph of them on sale in the shop. £1 a packet, 10 dice. Each one's about 12mm, ½ inch across, and these are available from The Works. I hasten to add, I have no commercial connection with The Works. I'm merely a customer. In fact, they've actually now given up my card, so this no longer works. So that's cheap dice at The Works. And here they are in the shop. In one of my recent reviews of things from the British High Street, I did mention these clear nail varnish racks that they sell in the ladies section. They're for nail varnishes, lipsticks, mascaras, whatever it is. There's another one there, and these are just £3 each from B&M, also known as Bargains and More. However, I had another browse around there this week, and I had a particular mission. I need a turntable because at the moment I can't turn this. I've got a nice model, I want to review it, show it off to its best advantage. I can't turn it around. I've got to physically move these tiles it's standing on. So, browsing in bargains and more, I found for £4 this. It's intended as a turntable for perhaps spices, if you have it an awkward corner cabinet, or alternatively it could go on your table and have pots of paint on it, etc. However, I've turned mine upside down and put feet on it, and I'll show you in a second how it now works as a turntable. £4 cheap photographic turntable. So what I've done here is, this is the B&M £4 turntable. I've cut up some rubber erasers for getting rid of pencil marks. I've glued them on as feet. The reason for that is I didn't want anything sliding off of here if centrifugal force took control. So now this is going to be turned into this. This is the Perry Miniatures American Civil War barn. This is the way I've decorated it. Just going to gently ease that back. There's the two doors. I chose a Victorian paint colour, sort of washed out arsenic green. A few bits of foliage along the base. And it turns beautifully on this £4 turntable. So ideal for photography. I can rotate my models very, very easily, have my finger out of sight and do it from below. As you can see, it swings very freely and easily. Nice little turntable, keeps me very happy. Another one of my models, this is another Perry. This is the American storefront, although I do sell another version of it with a set up as a cottage or farmhouse instead. Veranda at the side, plenty of dry brushing taking place around the walls. Nice cheap makeup brushes from, I think, Superdrug we used. And best of all, I've got the B&M cheap turntable, swinging the models around quite nicely. So that's my American Civil War shop front. The word provisions was typed out on my typewriter in a suitably Victorian looking font, and then pasted in later. I was going to put a family name on it or something, but I decided to go just with provisions. And again, I've chosen a sort of an arsenic green, which is sort of a more typically Victorian colour at the front. Then switching to more natural wood effect around the side. The roof is meant to be tarred wooden slats. Don't think that would be tiled. Anyway, another model. For some strange reason, don't know why, I didn't like the Perry farmhouse. I did the shop front instead. But I wanted a real small sodbusters farmhouse to go with the barn. This is not Perry, it's not even plastic, it's MDF. This is a Charlie Foxtrot model. This particular one is product code 1574. Charlie Foxtrot models can be found online. And it's actually marketed as an Eastern Front cabin in 28mm. And there was meant to be, I'll turn the building around, there was meant to be a very tall, there it is, very, very tall brick chimney with a small stack up on top of the roof here, which I assume is typical for Poland or Ukraine, etc. But I wanted something that looked more Victorian and more American Civil War. So I took the chimney pot, never put it on the roof, moved it down to here. The stovepipe is actually a piece of drinking straw, plastic drinking straw, and mount it on the base. The roof actually comes off, so you can put figures within. This is MDF, remember. There's the MDF interior. And the only criticism I had was the roof looked a bit too regular. So I went across it and distressed it a bit, chiseled out a few of the MDF tiles or wooden slats, and also glued a few cardboard ones in, but make them look like a strange angle. So this is my B&M photographic turntable, showing off my 28mm American Civil War farmhouse. The logs are stacked up at the side, come from a twig cut from my garden, but you may notice there's some decking around it. That does not supply by the model. It's in fact one of their fencing units. These are a separate produce from Charlie Foxtrot. It's just a simple fencing unit. They give you loose boards as well, and I've stuck those around there to create a duck boarding effect. So you can now see how smooth this works. Nice, smooth, very easy, and it's also virtually silent. I'm pleased about that. Finally, I'm one for a bit of scratch building. Quite happy to find a piece of material such as this tube that formerly had my tin foil in it, and I need something just to set the American Civil War farmhouse off with a little bit of detail. That is my well. Section of that glued onto a 40mm by 40mm wall base. The winding device is a piece of piano wire, a few bits of texture around it, painted it black inside, and the outside I laboriously stuck individual blocks of cardboard on, slightly bent, pinned them on with PVA, and the result is that is my well, cut from a piece of that. The uprights are actually a single coffee stirrer, snapped in half. I glued them back to back to make them a bit thicker, and that's my pieces of rough wood holding up the winder for the well. But of course it would suit any period, Napoleonic, even ancient. Finally, a throwback to a previous video of mine. I praised Black Magic Craft some time ago for his use of cheap dollar store wooden bird houses, etc., to be found in North America. He takes these, chops them down, puts applique, cardboard, wood, foam, etc. all over them, and turns them into cheap 28mm, chiefly fantasy, but you could do medieval with it as well. I noticed in the works today that they still had pretty much the same selection. You've got at least 2 building sizes there, and the top pack, the one marked £3, is a series of building fronts. And of course you can buy 2 of those packs of fronts, put your own sidewalls on, decorate them as you wish, put new roofs on, and suddenly you've got some pretty handy 28mm size buildings. I will put a link up to my previous video at the end of this, so you can flip back and see what Black Magic Craft does with his buildings. And you can do the same here in the works for just a few quid. This has been a Warspite production. If you've enjoyed this, please leave a thumbs up. If you've really enjoyed it, please feel free to subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next time. This is Warspite out, and have a very good day.